Right, 1 August 2025, and today is the first day of the month, and I apologize for the slight delay as I set up here. So I want to quickly take you through the important stories, and then we'll go into our day's feature. So today we're doing a special feature, so we won't do a lot of news the whole day today. As you can see, yesterday I've been going through all the reports from 1 August shootings. So today we're going to feature the 1 August shootings, as a lot of people have been killed by Mnangagwa and his soldiers. So Mnangagwa and his soldiers have killed a lot of people on 1 August 2018. So I'm going to feature that for you today so that you can understand. So today we're going to feature Chamisa. We're going to feature Valerius Banda. That is very important because these two people are key leaders now and key leaders in the future. You're going to see Chamisa, you're going to see Valerio, you're going to see Sanyatwe. Those are your future leaders. And some of them have got blood on their hands. So today we're going to feature and clarify what they've done. Yesterday I featured Sanyatwe and I featured Matanga. Today we're going to feature Chamisa and we're going to feature Valerio Sbanda. Then we'll take it from there. So let's get started. And today we've got some very important news. So let's start with Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is currently in Kenya, where he's holding a meeting over there. So I'll give you details during the day. If he speaks, I'm going to give you the speech of Mnangagwa speaking. So Mnangagwa is doing more of international travel. He is wrapping up his term, and nothing is happening in Mnangagwa's government. So nothing is happening. All they do is fight like a cat and a dog. So Chiwenga and Mnangagwa are fighting every day, and it's getting worse. So I'm now going to take you to what happened yesterday. So Chiwenga was supposed to present, as I said to you in the past, at the monitoring and evaluation event, which was taking place at Mnangagwa's office. It also involved the United Nations. So Chiwenga totally boycotted the event since it started on Monday. And this means the event could not be opened officially. And it had to be opened after 3 days. And it was opened by Mohadi. So yesterday, Mohadi had to go and open the event that Chiwenga has been refusing to open since Monday. And this is not a small thing, it's a big thing, because Mohadi is not feeling well. And they tried to put Damasane there. They tried to put Rushwaya over there. They've tried everybody, but it was not senior enough. You can't do monitoring and evaluation without a senior official. So monitoring evaluation has now been moved to Mohadi, and Chiwenga doesn't want to do anything in Mnangagwa's office. So the fight between Chiwenga and Mnangagwa is going to be going on. It's not going to stop. And it's going to be very dirty because it's open. It's now in the open. Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, they know each other very well. And Chiwenga is not pretending. So he doesn't pretend to go to Mnangagwa's office. If he's told, go and open something at my office, he doesn't go until they have to put Mohadi. So this is what has happened, where Chiwenga was supposed to open the event. He didn't go until they had to put Mohadi. And that is how it is. Now, let me quickly run through the news. As I said, I've got a feature. I now want to take you to H Metro newspaper. So in H Metro newspaper, there is a story about young women who are performing wealth rituals in Harare and surrounding areas. So 2 women have died after performing a wealth ritual, and H Metro has published an exclusive picture. I don't think anyone else has got this picture. This is called a water ritual, a water spirit ritual, or manjuzu. This is where young women who are unmarried will go into the water and they will perform rituals and summon the spirits of mermaids. And the mermaid will then give them wealth. And they normally take some rice, some nice food like biscuits and whiskey. And they go into the water with the prophet or the facilitator. So you can see here the two women lying at the center. They have been in the water. These are not the women who passed away. They've been in the water and they were trying to rescue another woman who was taken under by a mermaid. So the mermaid actually does appear if you take those items. So if you go to the broadcast from ZBC, you see that there's some rice, they had some biscuits and whiskey, like I said. And one woman got possessed by a spirit and started to jump around in the water. She went under, didn't come back, and they didn't get her for a full day. And these are little puddles. So it's a little puddle. It's not water like a big water body. It's a little water. So you don't know where the person has gone. They've disappeared, but one of them was returned dead on the day. So the next day, the sub-aqua unit had to come and get the other woman. So they eventually did get her. And what normally happens is that when you go under, according to a woman who was taken under and who gave the story, you go into a different world. And in that world, a lot of things happen. Some people have gone under for years and years. And we've carried such stories. So in Zimbabwe, women are going into this manjuzu cult. It's a cult. And they end up, according to themselves, very wealthy. However, the catch is that you die after a short space of time. So you can go check out the story in the H Metro newspaper of today. And it's being carried by all the newspapers across Zimbabwe. Then let's go to another story again in the same newspaper. And this is Grand Chitate. Grand Chitate is a businessman. He's been arrested and appeared in court for fraud involving $7 million. So the way the fraud is done or was done or investigated is such that between 2019 and this year, Grant is said to have imported gas worth $7 million. However, there is no banking transaction in his bank account, which shows where the money that he used to import the gas is coming from. So I don't know whether it's by deduction, it means that he had taken the money out of Zimbabwe without going through exchange control. Or in short, he is a black market operator. So they've arrested him, and the evidence is that there's nothing in his bank account to show how he got the $7 million to import the gas. You know that Grant is in court with Precious Nakujga after he transferred money into a bank account for a transaction, a forex transaction, and then she didn't fulfill her side of the deal. He was also in court after sending people to beat up and kill Esi Lumumba over a debt. So Esi Lumumba owed this man, Grand Chitate, money, and he sent people to his office, 3 people, to beat him up and get the money or he will be killed. And the police were then called by Esi Lumumba, who then, they got arrested, but I don't think it stuck because otherwise Grand Chitate will be in jail. So that is Grand Chitate over there. You can go and check out that story inside of the H Metro newspaper. Grand Chitate is also fighting with Scott Sakupanya at Red Wing Mine, where the rescue practitioner there has sold the same claim to Grant and to Scott Sakupanya at the same time. So you can see clearly that his troubles are bigger than just the money. Something else is going on over here. Right, I think we've covered the most important stuff. Let us look at anything that I haven't covered in B Metro newspaper. There is a big story today, and this is really bad because a young woman, a single mother, is crying out for help. So on your right is Faris Tembo. Faris Tembo was in love with the pastor. The pastor on the left is called Pastor Changara. She was in love with him. They worked together at the church, Celebration Church in Bulawayo. So in 2023, April, she was suspended for the love affair. However, Pastor Changara, who is a family member of the owners of the church, Celebration Church in Bulawayo, was not fired. So the woman was fired, but the man was not fired. And then in February 2024, she received a severance pay or a settlement. However, she's gone to the newspapers to say she didn't want the settlement. She wants a job back, and it's not fair that she was fired. And Pastor Faris Tembo was not fired. So you can go check out that story in the B Metro newspaper. It's not right. If a woman is in love with a man, both of them should be fired. But they told her that he's not fired because he is a member of the family, so he can stay in the church even though he violated the policies. She's saying there are two other pastors who are in love with, or who are having love affairs at Celebration Church in Bulawayo, but they were not fired, they were suspended, then they got counseling. How come she was fired? So all I can say is that Celebration Church is Sodom and Gomorrah. If 6 people are in love at the church, who exactly is in the church for preaching? Who is preaching at the church? Or that is just like during working hours, it's love time in that church. Zakwa. Okay, so let me look at one more newspaper, then we're out. We go to the feature, and I'll be back. I'm actually on the road, so it's a bit tricky for me because I'm traveling. So when I travel during the day, I can't work. But anyway, today I'll try to do some work. So let's go to Business Day, very important newspaper, and then I'll come back later on today and give you more news. And also Chamisa, we want to feature Chamisa. So the most important thing that has happened yesterday in South Africa, the interest rate has been dropped by 0.25%. I want you guys to understand what I always say. South Africa economy is no longer an economy because the Reserve Bank and Treasury, they don't know what they're doing. It's sad that I have to say this, but they've got no clue. So the interest rates in South Africa are too high and there's no money in the economy. So no one is buying and shops are closing, malls are closing. If you walk in the mall, you're the only person there and people are losing jobs. So yesterday they've reduced the interest rate by 0.25% or 25 basis points. I don't know if that is it, but they've reduced it. And now they've done inflation targeting to 3%. So my problem with the Reserve Bank, South Africa Reserve Bank, is as follows. They are saying they want to reduce the inflation target so that they can reduce the interest rate. So they want to lead with the inflation target. And then as the inflation reduces, they reduce interest rate. That is putting the cart before the horse. In South Africa, there is no person whose credit card interest rate is not above 20%. So if you're lucky, you've got 15%. So already the interest rate at the retail level is too high. People are getting 15%, 20%, 40% even. You've got loans for 40%. So this little drop of 0.25% is nothing because the banks are already charging high rates. So what should the bank do? The bank should allow the actual inflation to go up and then keep that rate low. So allow the inflation to go up. South Africa is a third world country. So you don't want inflation of 3% in a third world country. What you want is a lot of money in the system, a lot of projects, because you want growth. So if you want growth, You want a lot of money in the system. You want people to buy and allow that interest rate to go up because already it's up anyway. So allow the inflation to go up to 20%. I would not mind the South African inflation to go to 20%. And that's not even crazy because that's where it is. That's where the interest rates are right now. If the Reserve Bank was to do a summary of where the interest rates the retail is paying, they'll see that no one is paying, let's say for a car, no one is paying below 10%. For a house, no one is paying below, let's say, 9% or 7%, somewhere there. So already interest rates are high. So allow the inflation to go. I don't know why they don't want inflation. I love inflation in South Africa because the economy is not growing. Too many big companies, no small companies, no one buying. So that is crazy. So I don't like the 0.25% that they've done yesterday. I want more growth in South Africa. That is too much formalization in the economy, and people can't breathe. So no one can breathe in South Africa. Everyone is stuck. Too many repossessions taking place in South Africa. Can you believe that if you travel around, I was in Johannesburg last week. If you travel around at the bigger malls, you've got so much empty space, like no one there. It's bad. Like some malls have got almost half empty. That's crazy. So that interest rate in South Africa, that low inflation target is crazy. Make it that the inflation goes up and put more money into the economy. We want cash. Cash yakawanda. Right, I think I've covered that. Then the Capitec founder, CEO, has gone away with a severance package of 150 million rands. So I'm sure he's going to have a good retirement somewhere. But do you know that the CEOs of most companies in South Africa earn $5 million? So you say 5 million times 20, that is already 100 million a year. So that is crazy. But that money is taken away by taxes. So most of them, they only survive because of share options. The interest will take away. If you earn 100 million, it's nothing after the taxes. It's zero. Okay. Now let's go to our feature. And this is so sad. So we're doing a feature now. And we're going to feature Mnangagwa refusing to release the 1 August shootings report. So the president of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa, he commissioned a report of the 1 August 2018 shootings. And this comes after 7 people were killed by soldiers, and the soldiers had come into the city center after a lot of MDC Alliance supporters were protesting the delay of the release of the results. So soldiers led by Sanyatwe went into town and started to patrol and disperse the protesters. So yesterday we featured Sanyatwe and he explained what happened. But let me take you through the commission. So after 28 days, on 28 August 2018, Mnangagwa set up a commission, and the commission was made up of the following people. So let's look at the people who were in the commission. So it was Halema Moshande, who was the chairman of the commission. And then there were also people like Maduku, who were there in the commission. And let's see who are the other people who were in the commission. So I'll give you the names of the people in the commission as we go. So what happened is the commission then came up with the recommendations and findings. And some of the people who were killed during this this period include the people that I'm now going to display here on the screen. So Sylvia Maposa was one of the people who died. Gavin Dean Charles was killed. I'm sure this is Brian Joao and Challenge Tauro. There are 3 other people who were killed, whose pictures we don't have. So once these people were killed, the question was then what happened for the people to be killed? And an investigation was carried out, which then came out with the recommendations. And the findings was crazy. So let's start with who was in the commission. So there was Halema Moshande, Chief Emeka Anyouku of Nigeria, Rodney Dixon, a lawyer from the UK, Charity Manyeruke, a professor at the UZ, Love Moma Duku, Wimbai Nyemba, and Simbiso Sbanda. So the people who were killed, as I've said, is Gavin Charles, Challenge Tauro, Adrian Munjere, Sylvia Maposa, Ishmael Kumire, James Kandira, and Brian Joao. So the Kalema Moshande Commission, they blamed the protest on Chamisa. So they said Chamisa had allowed his supporters to protest and had made inflammatory statements. So that was the finding of the executive. So there was an executive summary which was released. And that was the finding. If you go to Gambakwe, we have given a summary, a timeline of everything that happens, including the deaths. So they said Chamisa made inflammatory statements and they had a premeditated or they'd planned to protest. So you can go to Gambakwe, and that is the story at the top. You see it at the top with the deaths there. So they blamed Chamisa for the actual events of that day. But Chamisa said he is not the one who's responsible. He didn't cause these things. And in fact, he was a victim of what happened. So what happened is that in May 2018, Mnangagwa had gazetted the election, and the campaign period was June and July 2018. This came after the death of Morgan Tsvangirai. Chamisa had a lot of popularity, and he went around the whole country campaigning freely. There was no problem with the campaign. On July 30, there was an election, and then 31, people were waiting for the results. The results didn't come. And then on 1 August, the results didn't come. And people got impatient and started to move around town. They went to the ZANU-PF office. You see where there's Rainbow Towers there. It was full of people because the election center was at Rainbow. So people, young people filled up the whole space near the Rainbow Towers Hotel. And I know this because I was covering this story live. So I was live at that time. And unfortunately for me, ZANU-PF has taken down our channel, which had all my videos about everything. So you know that at that time, ZANU-PF was going after our channels. So we've lost all of our footage from that period because ZANU-PF has taken down our channels. So during that period, young people started to throw stones and fire bombs into the ZANU-PF complex. And people were now trapped inside of ZANU-PF head office. These things I'm telling you about seem like a movie, but it's real. And police were then called and had running battles with the youngsters inside the city. Chamisa and Biti briefly appeared in front of the Harvest House. And I remember at that moment, Chamisa did not speak. Biti briefly spoke, but they did not give a speech or a statement. They were talking among themselves, and they did not give a speech or statement. When they left, there was commotion in front of the Harvest House, which is right at the city center of Zimbabwe. And young people were then chased down by the soldiers. So the soldiers were driving around town, removing stones and chasing people. A group of soldiers arrived in town, and that one group shot the people, and they left the bodies on the floor. They didn't take the bodies, they just shot people. People started to run and leave town. And then other people were shot outside of the city center. So inside the city center, there were 4 bodies. And then on the extreme outskirts, there were 3 bodies. One by the police station, one by Pismas, and one which was left at the hospital, at Paranyato Hospital. And no one knows who left those bodies in those places. So the purpose of the investigation was to determine what happened, who killed the people, and then to follow the recommendations. And Mnangagwa has so far refused to release the report. So Mnangagwa released a portion of the report in December 2024. And this comes after the submission of the report in November 2024. So Mnangagwa released a portion of that report because it was a public hearing. So people who testified include Chamisa, Linda Masarira, Maynard Manyoa, the people that are common, that people you know who were there on the ground. Maynard Manyoa was, in fact, the person who took the video of the shooting, if I'm not mistaken, was working for one of the international agencies. So the way this thing is right now is that the recommendations have not been implemented. So what are the recommendations? Firstly, Sanyatwe is denying that he shot or his unit shot anyone. You saw it yesterday. Matanga is blaming other people up the chain, including Chiwenga, for the deployment. So Matanga, if you saw yesterday, I posted where Matanga said Chiwenga gave the order. So he said Chiwenga gave the order. That is Matanga. So go and watch what I've put on Gambakwe right now. Now, Moshande was saying no one knows who allowed or who deployed these soldiers. So the first thing was to say who deployed. Secondly, who allowed the use of live ammunition. And then third, there was supposed to be political dialogue between Nelson Chamisa and Mnangagwa. It's a recommendation of the Moshande Commission. And then there was supposed to be media regulation because there was too much polarization. I don't know if we are part of the polarization, but I know that in 2018, Gambakwe was one of the biggest coverage. In fact, the coverage that we're giving at that time was probably one of the few live coverages of the event as it took place. But I don't know why they didn't put ZEC here. The results of Zimbabwe, when the election result is announced, they just come at random times. And people end up having to demand the results to come out. So the biggest trigger here was the results not coming out in time. Not all this that they're saying. Because they're saying the trigger of violence was the opposition supporters protesting. The trigger was ZEC not releasing the results. So go and check it out on Gambakwe. We've put this over there in detail. And today we're going to put Chamisa and Valerio, who are going to be talking here. It's crazy that we don't have the report since 2018. That is almost 8 years without the report. And Mnangagwa must release the results. He mustn't hold us at hostage. He must also compensate the victims. So people who were killed are 7, people who were injured are 35. So Mnangagwa must do the right thing and release the report. He must compensate the families who were affected. And we need to know which soldier shot people. So that soldier who was kneeling, he needs to be revealed who it is. The heartless man that shot into a crowd of fleeing people. That is what the Moshande Commission is about. Who gave the order between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga and Sanyatwe? Who gave the order to deploy? Because that information is not correct. Right now, they're saying Chiwenga deployed. That is what Matanga is saying. If you look at that interview, he claims that the deployment was ordered by Chiwenga after a request by Obed Mpov. And I don't know at that point what Obed Mpov was, but he's the one who was responsible for this whole situation over there. So this is a crazy situation. Go check out the actual report on Gambakwe. We've done a detailed timeline of this whole thing. And unfortunately, Mnangagwa has not released the 1 August shootings report. Okay, I think I've covered that. How many minutes have we gone? 30 minutes. That is great. Let me stop here at this point, and I'll be back to provide you guys with more details. Today is a very, very busy day. We need to cover everything about the 1st August killings. And it's said that our people are not responsive and our opposition is dead. Do you know that? I'm looking right now, and none of the guys that we know have posted about the 1st August killings. People literally died for these guys, and no one is posting. This, this is crazy, guys. I cannot believe it. That people are they're forgetting such an important thing. We need an opposition with a proper secretary that takes care of stuff, that takes care of business. Right. I think, let me go to our people. Before we go. It's making me sad to see that once you die for a politician, they forget about you. It's crazy. But that is how it is. What can we say and do? They move on. So I want to start with Minnie. So let's go to Minnie. Today I start with Minnie. Minnie is telling us who gave her the tracksuit. This is amazing, guys. This is the best tracksuit I've ever seen. Try to buy it. It's called the Feka Goka. So go over there and buy your tracksuit from Goka. Feka. Amazing tracksuit of Zimbabwe. Very, very well done. And then let's go to Madam Boss. What is Madam Boss saying? Dubai, are you ready? Is she in Dubai already? Yes. Madam Boss is in Dubai already. I don't think they're allowed to show so much skin, Madam Boss. Mosungwa. She's already over there. And then let's see who else. Fadzi 2028. Good morning, 5 a.m. club. New month, new energy, new inspiration, new focus, new adventures, new money. I want the new money, new fitness, new skills, new opportunities, new grind, new elevation, new wins. Cheers to awesome August. So that is Fadzi 2028. So Fadzi 2028, that is how we're going to do it. She's going to win. She's going to beat Tagure so bad. Like a snake has entered the house. Tagure acharowa senyoka yapinda mumba. President Hakainde Hichilema is celebrating his wife anniversary, 37-year anniversary. Amazing stuff, amazing marriage over here. I like it. And then President Dumaboko is saying, you can fake everything, but you cannot fake character. This I found to be true with the Dr. Micah's Chimbombi. That is his speech at the funeral over here. And then who are we missing? Guys, who is one of our other people that were missing? Faith Msonda is no longer relevant to us. Patriotic Front, no. Let's go to Chidosa Nyatwe. She is saying the impact of President Mnangagwa Sada chairman on Zim tourism and economic growth. And she's talking about Mnangagwa. ED works, ED aka broker, Mnangagwa aka broker, Auxilia aka broker, Sean aka broker, Emerson Jr. aka broker, Kuda aka broker, Collins aka broker, Farai aka broker. Mazinzaire Chido Sanyatwe, Vese Vaka broker. Now you can try to pump them up, but Ivane Zungu, Havana. So let's go to Sanyatwe's actual Twitter account. I told you guys these are the guys who are coming up. They are going to campaign. You're going to see them. The race for president is going to open up. We need to move very fast because these guys are coming. So, Honorable Lieutenant General retired Ambassador Sanyatwe, he's got a Twitter account, and it is not posted since July the 30th. That is when he last posted. So let me show you what is posted. And you must understand where we are going. Mnangagwa is no longer going to be on the ballot paper. So we are going to have a new political environment. I've been talking to a lot of people in the opposition. They don't understand. Pachawiyama billionaires who are going to contest the election. If you don't jump in now, you won't be able to contest with the billionaires who are coming to want to be president. Because violence is what is stopping people. Once you take out violence from the matrix, you are going to have so many candidates who are coming, who are more empowered. So Tagwire is just one, but more are coming. So this is Sanyatwe. That is his post. Sanyatwe is doing a lot of public events using sport. So Sanyatwe, I believe that is going to come and become a candidate. And you can see it on his Twitter. He is building a profile. He just doesn't have a media. What I say you are now. Then that is Sanyatwe. Chamisa. Chamisa has not tweeted anything. He didn't even say happy birthday to my head. That's crazy. Chamisa. So that is Chamisa over here. He has tweeted nothing. And then let's go to Sarwaka. So Sarwaka is going to be a big player in what we're doing. I like Sarwaka very much. I like his energy. And I like the young man. He is on the right path. So Sarwaka is on the right path. And you can follow his channel. I'll share the link here. Let's quickly look at Sarwaka. Sarwaka, where are you, Sarwaka? So I'm not seeing the channel. I'm going to give it to you later on. Sarwaka, you can share with me the link of your channel because I'm not seeing it here. So Sarwaka, as soon as I get the link, I'll share it with you tonight. So Sarwaka is on the right path. What we want to do is, obviously, we now want to start working on the candidates. So parliamentary candidates, Senate and Council for M31 Zimbabwe. And we are hoping that Fadzai, the people that we've sent to her, are going to come and give us a feedback. So very soon, we're going to give you an answer. By the 24th of August, Fadzai must give us an answer if she's going to contest as a candidate. And she must not lose this opportunity. She's doing very, very well. There's a lot of goodwill for advocate Fadzai Mahere. So we've given her up to the 24th of August to respond and say if she's going to be a candidate for Fadzi 2028 is going to happen. We'll love it if she becomes our candidate, and we're going to support a presidential bid. So at 40, that would be amazing. And our country will be like Dubai in less than 5 years. We're going to do so well. And everyone will be beaten like a snake has entered the house. You'll be beaten, Tagwire. They'll beat you up like a snake has entered the house. You'll be flat and you'll be heavy. In that election. So I'm really looking forward to it because it's amazing. We want a young woman to lead our country. But as I said, if Chiwenga comes into the play and he's in, we're going to find a way of making these guys come together. So we would want Chiwenga in and Fadzi is a winning team. That is amazing. Mdara wedu akanaka. We love Mdara Chiwenga. So that is amazing. So that is the winning team that is coming. And remember, Mnangagwa will be gone. Guys, we are going into a new period where our country does not have to deal with a murderous psychopath. Zoro. That scarf will be gone. We'll never next time, anyone who comes the scarf, that is what we want. We want a beautiful country where no one is on the run. And all you guys who are overseas, we're going to go home. We're going to give you land. We're going to give you properties. We're going to transform our country into one of the best first world countries in the world. Zimbabwe will be beautiful and great again. So, Fadzi, do not let us down. Make a decision and let us make it happen. People will support you like you've never seen. your name will be more popular than Bianehanda in Zimbabwe. It's history. So I think we've covered our people. Who have I left out? Guys, who did I leave out? Who we normally cover in the mornings? I don't think I've left anyone. So let us recap. We've said Chiwenga was supposed to preside over a function in Mnangagwa's office. It was supposed to be opened on Monday. He didn't arrive. On Tuesday, he didn't arrive. On Wednesday, he didn't arrive. So on Thursday, Mohadi had to open the event 4 days after it started. It was opened by Mohadi, and Mnangagwa has removed Chiwenga from that event. He has also removed Chiwenga from the monitoring and evaluation office. So monitoring and evaluation is now being done by Mohadi. Saka zvakafanana nekushaya munhu. Monitoring and evaluation. It's like a monitoring yourself and evaluating yourself. Honestly, do you think Mohadi can evaluate and monitor anyone? He's gonna be on oxygen like every day. Zvakadzvanya, zvakapresa pazano, zvinhu zvese zviri trabablas. Let's look at the comments. When I was ufuna to remove Zanu Kwangwa doing Ngwenya, urikuraska patra bablas. Mkoma murikuraska patra bablas. Gambakwe ndiani ari kuuraya vanhu nenzara? Yes. Mnangagwa ari kuuraya vanhu nenzara akabroka. Lumumba is not looking good. What's wrong, my boy? Lumumba was so very strong. Look at these days. He was amazing, but now something is up. He's jumping into a fridge full of ice. Guys, Lumumba jumping into a fridge, not only a fridge, a deep freezer. I do not know what that is. Lumumba. I met Lumumba at the hotel here when I went to Johannesburg. I jumped into a hotel. I'm going to see Ketina in the hotel. And I jump in a lift. I see Ketina upstairs. We talk for like a few hours. Then I'm going out of the hotel. And I jump in the lift. And who is in the hotel? In the lift? It's me and Lumumba, just the two of us. And he gave me his number and said, come to my room and all that. I said, I'll come, but it never happened. So Lumumba, people are looking for you. Sia, Zambia. I know my baby Zambia, I gotta say, but don't stay for that. No pera ku Zambia. Vanonenda ku Zambia, vanoziya zvandiri kutaura. Kunopisa semoto. Let's look at other. Yes, Mike. Thank you very much. I love Zambia. Your garbage is getting worse in Kelvin Gaite. Yes. Gambakwe akabroka. Mu 18 area. Arimo. Yes, Gambakwe akabroka. Morning team. Thank you very much. Everyone who supports us here. It's amazing. But let me end with our sponsor. I've been neglecting our sponsor and I apologize. So, Mve is our sponsor for a very long time. So for women, especially, we've got a lot of orders coming from women. So let me explain for women what this Mve does. So if you've got fibroids, it clears them totally. They're gone. And if you are a woman and you don't have energy, take Mve and you see. Mdara Anokwara. And then if you've got other issues, they are addressed. So Mve is very powerful help. It sorts out all issues. And worse for guys, 1 liter engine turns into 3 liters. One kick starts and you don't have to crank it. So imagine Shanda, like Isuzu with Tinorara, only 3 hours. So at dinner time, you go cranker. And then obviously the issues around diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, and someone was asking me about how it works with STIs. So they are deep-seated STIs, body, clear, jese. Uneta sek, moon are refresh, no more kunetseka, the tumor infections to sina basa. So join me in supporting our sponsor so that everything goes well. Ndiwane chibanzi. Okay, so I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. 45 minutes. I'm talking longer than Makandiwa. Makandiwa. Makandiwa, one of my favorite preachers. I like him. And obviously, Apostle Talent, Chiwenga. Okay, I think we've covered everything. Let us take a break and then we'll go into the actual videos, the testimonies by Chamisa and the testimony by Uyo, Commander of the Defense Forces, Valerio Sbanda. And then in the evening, we're going to recap and say who gave the order. It's very important. Did Chiwenga give the order? Did Sanyatwe give the order? Did who are the other guys who were named? We want to take that level, who gave the order. So at 10:09 tonight, we're going to zero in on what everyone has said about who gave the order. And then we will leave it there and say why Mnangagwa is not releasing. There are also rumors that Sean Mnangagwa is the one who had led the unit that was shooting, was shown in the army at that time. We need to unpack that. Was he in the army already when that shooting took place on 1st August 2018? Did Sean come and shoot people and then run away? That is a possibility. So let's check it out. And a good day